Lagos does not wake up quietly. By the time the sun rises, generators are humming. Okadas are weaving through traffic. Vendors are already shouting. Inside a small apartment in Lekki, Nia Okafor sits at her desk, 23 years old, 500,000 followers, and a reputation built on honesty. But today, her integrity will be tested. Someone is about to offer her 5 million naira. All she has to do is lie. Nia did not become popular overnight. When she first started creating content, no one was watching. No brands were calling. No comments were flooding in. She filmed with her phone, used natural light from her window, and edited late into the night. At first, she copied what other influencers were doing. Perfect poses, perfect captions, perfect lighting. But something felt wrong. She realized that perfection was everywhere online. But honesty was rare, so she changed her approach. Instead of promising miracles, she started testing products properly. 48 hours, sometimes a full week. She showed breakouts. She showed irritation. She showed results that were slow and real. And something interesting happened. Her followers began to trust her. Not just like her posts, trust her. When she said a product worked, they believed her. When she said a product was dangerous, they listened. Brands began to notice, but so did other influencers. Because in an industry built on image, someone who tells the truth that becomes a threat. And Nia knew that honesty would cost her sometimes. But she had already decided something long ago. She would rather grow slowly with integrity than grow fast with lies. She just didn't know that that decision was about to be tested. The call came on a Thursday morning. Nia almost ignored it. Unknown numbers usually meant spam, or small brands offering free products instead of payment. But something made her answer. Good morning. Is this Nia Okafor? The voice was smooth, confident, practiced. My name is Emmanuel Kalu. I'm calling from Glowfast Cosmetics. Nia had heard the name before. The brand had suddenly become popular. Influencers were whispering about big payouts. We've been watching your growth, he said, and we believe you're the perfect face for our new campaign. Then he said the number, 5 million naira, for 4 posts. Her fingers froze over her keyboard. 5 million. That wasn't just money. That was security. That was rent paid in advance. That was equipment upgrades. That was freedom. But Nia had rules. And rules were useless if they only applied when things were small. She cleared her throat. I'll need your full ingredient list. Certifications. Dermatologist approvals. There was a brief silence. Then he laughed lightly. Of course. We're a legitimate brand. The documents arrived later that day. At first glance, everything looked official. Stamped logos, signed letters, polished PDFs. But Nia had learned to look twice. The dermatologist listed had no digital footprint. And rules were useless if they only applied when things were small. She cleared her throat. I'll need your full ingredient list. Certifications. Dermatologist approvals. There was a brief silence. Then he laughed lightly. Of course. We're a legitimate brand. The documents arrived later that day. At first glance, everything looked official. Stamped logos, signed letters, polished PDFs. But Nia had learned to look twice. The dermatologist listed had no digital footprint. The before and after photos were clearly edited, and one ingredient had been flagged overseas for causing skin irritation. Her heart sank. She imagined her followers applying that product, trusting her face, trusting her word. 5 million naira suddenly felt heavy. She called him back. I'm sorry, she said calmly. I won't be able to promote this product. The tone on the other end changed. We can increase the offer. She closed her eyes. No. And just like that, she walked away from 5 million naira. She didn't know it yet, but someone else was about to pick it up. Saad Adebayo had been in the influencer game longer than Nia. She had better lighting, better outfits, more polished photos. But her engagement was dropping. The algorithm was no longer kind to her. New influencers were rising. Brands were negotiating harder. So when Glowfast Cosmetics called her, she didn't ask too many questions. 5 million naira. For posts. Easy. She glanced at the ingredient list. Didn't read past the first page. Her manager hesitated. Shouldn't we test it first? Saad waved him off. Everyone is promoting it. If we don't take this, someone else will. She didn't know Nia had already said no. To Saad, this wasn't about honesty. It was about survival. About staying relevant. About maintaining the lifestyle her followers admired. The designer bags, the brunches, the luxury skincare routines. And deep down, She was tired of seeing comments like, that Nia is so real. We trust Nia. Nia would never lie to us. It burned, because Saad used to get those comments. So she signed a contract, filmed the content. Soft glam makeup, golden lighting, close-up skin shots. This product changed my life, she smiled into the camera. She posted it at 7 p.m. Within minutes, the views exploded, comments flooded in, orders poured into GlowFast's website. And for a moment, Saad felt victorious. She had won. Or so she thought. Because 3 days later, the first complaint appeared, then another, then 10 more. Red rashes, burning skin, swelling, and every single comment ended with the same sentence. But you said it was safe. At first, Saad ignored the comments. Every influencer gets complaints sometimes. She told herself it was normal. But the comments didn't slow down. They multiplied. Screenshots started circulating on Twitter, side-by-side photos. Before using GlowFast, after using GlowFast. The difference was painful. Red patches, peeling skin, dark burns. Someone started a thread. Influencers need to stop lying for money. And Saada's name was tagged over and over again. Her DMs became a war zone. You ruined my face. I trusted you. My wedding is next week. Why would you do this to us? She tried to contact GlowFast. No response. The website suddenly went offline. The phone number stopped connecting. The office address. Fake. That's when fear truly settled in. She wasn't just losing followers. She was losing credibility. Brands paused their collaborations. One contract was quietly canceled. Another email came. We need to reassess our partnership. And then it happened. Someone posted a screenshot. A private message from Nia. Weeks earlier, where Nia had warned. Please be careful with this brand. Something isn't right. The internet exploded. She tried to warn her. Nia refused this deal. That's integrity. And just like that, the spotlight shifted. Nia's old video resurfaced. That where she spoke about rejecting unsafe brand deals. It started trending. Meanwhile, Saad posted an apology video. No makeup, soft voice, tired eyes. But the comments were brutal. You're only sorry because you got caught. For the first time in her career, she felt powerless. Not because of money, not because of numbers, but because trust, once broken, is almost impossible to repair. Saad stopped posting. For the first time in 5 years, her page went silent. No morning selfies, no brand tags, no "Hey loves" captions, just silence. She stayed indoors, avoided mirrors, avoided her phone, but she couldn't avoid the guilt. She remembered the moment she signed the contract, the small voice that said, that check properly. She ignored it. She ignored it. Now people were paying the price. One evening, she opened her DMs again, not the angry ones, the quiet ones. A young girl wrote, I saved money for months to buy that product because you said it worked. Another said, my skin is damaged and I can't afford a dermatologist. Saad broke down. Not because she was exposed, but because she realized something painful. Influence is not power. It is responsibility. Meanwhile, Nia kept posting, but she didn't mock Saad. She didn't celebrate the scandal. Instead, she made a video, calm, direct. Before you promote anything, she said, ask yourself if you would let your younger sister use it. The clip went viral. Brands began reaching out again. But this time, something changed. A major international skincare company contacted her, not because of her numbers, but because of her refusal. We want long-term ambassadors, they said, not just influencers. The contract they offered her was bigger than the one she rejected. Long-term, stable, ethical. And this time, there were no fake documents, no hidden ingredients, just transparency. As for Saad, months later, she returned, not with luxury content, not with glamour, but with honesty. She admitted everything. The pressure, the jealousy, the greed. She started over, slower, smaller, wiser, because sometimes you don't lose your platform to be destroyed. You lose it to rebuild it properly. And in the end, the lesson was simple. Money can grow your page, but integrity builds your legacy. Not every loss is punishment. Sometimes it's protection. Nia lost 5 million naira, but she kept her name. Saad gained 5 million naira, but lost the one thing money cannot buy: trust. In a world where everyone is chasing numbers, fame, and fast money, the real flex is integrity. Because when the lights go off, when the comments stop, When the trends fade. All you have left is your name, and your name must be clean. If this story taught you something, let me ask you a question. Would you walk away from 5 million naira? To protect your integrity? Comment below. And if you enjoy powerful African stories like this, stories about real life, real lessons, and real consequences, make sure you subscribe, because the next story might just change the way you see the world.